Volunteers continue to accompany the family of the deceased and support the firemen who battled with the fire. A cancer patient in Singapore fulfills her wish and becomes Master Cheng Yen's disciple. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. Following up on the fatal factory fire in Taoyuan, northern Taiwan, it has continued to burn for 2 days and still wasn't put out completely. As the family members of the deceased are still drenched in deep sorrow and grief, volunteers have been on their side day and night to give them a shoulder. They've also delivered hot breakfast to the fire spot for the firemen and 120 living aids bags for the foreign workers living in the factory. Okay.
那个年轻人那时候他非常激动。
The young man was very emotional that time, so I kept telling him to calm his mind. This morning I called him and I told him I can almost be his grandmother, hence I keep comfort him like a grandma.
用阿嬷的角度去跟他安抚，这样。
陪伴真的往往就是无声胜有声。
Companionship really is about quietly be on their side instead of keep telling people what they should do or not to do. Because at a moment like this, all they want is to calm down their thoughts.
晚上在工厂还在工作吗？还是？对啊，我们定做接班。是。对啊。所以火灾的时候你还在工作？对啊。 那你怎么跑出来的？他们敲的，就赶快跑回来。
经过一整天下来，应该是又渴又饿。那以我们自己。
After a whole day's work, they must be hungry and thirsty. We use our compassion to think that if we were them, we must want something hot, salty, and fluid to feel more comfortable. So today we cooked taro congee for them.
I started my shift from 8 p.m. last night and haven't rested at all till now. Everyone has a 12-hour shift.
In Myanmar, many farming villages don't have electricity. Therefore, after the sun sets, the villagers can only rely on candles for light. To improve their living conditions, city volunteers have been to 9 townships and villages to distribute solar panels so they don't need to be bound by the natural light. Take a look.
In Myanmar's drought season, the roads from the city to the farming villages are filled with dust. Despite adverse road conditions, Yangon city volunteers keep their promise to visit the villagers. People in the cities might not understand the inconvenience of not having electricity, but city volunteers are aware of it. They've been to the countryside 3 times to deliver solar panels.
In the past, I had to charge my batteries at my neighbor's house. Now that I have electricity at home, it's much more convenient.
Volunteer Yu Tang-yi helps install the solar panels and reminds the villagers to be mindful while using them.
In the past 2 previous distributions, some people did not install the solar panels correctly and damaged them. Therefore, I've come to teach them how to install it.
I've never had electricity before. Now I'm very happy. If I place a light outdoor, it will bring convenience for those who pass by.
The volunteers also encourage the villagers to save money they use to buy candles to help others in need.
Now that you have electricity, you can save your candle money. If you save 100 kyats a day, in a year you could save more than 36,000 kyats. You could use the money in times of emergency.
The lights have brightened the villagers' environment and brought hope to the farming villages.
Beijing City volunteers went to Yi County in Hebei Province to visit the scholarship recipients one by one. Although the rain made the mountain road hard to cross, volunteers still went to deliver simple supplies in hopes of building good relations with these parents and give these students a better chance for the future. Using time off from work, Beijing City volunteers are organizing items for these scholarship recipients. This time the supplies are very practical.
One is a towel and one is soap and socks. Why would we choose these? Some students have bad hygiene in their house and they don't have anything to clean. Sometimes they don't even have money to buy soap.
For consecutive nights, everyone was busy past 10 p.m. at night. Even a senior volunteer, Zeng Yunji, who is recovering from her sickness, called to give her a reminder.
消防过程当中当然我们要记得擦拭剂面霜注意我们的这样个人的一个形象威仪这个部分
On the day of their visitation, volunteers start to get ready at 5 a.m. in the morning. Some people even arrive Beijing a day in advance.
I came here from my school around 11 p.m. last night. I find a hotel to stay, or otherwise I wouldn't be able to make it this morning.
Yi County is located in mountainous area, hence the temperature is only about 10 degrees Celsius, even it's almost summer. On top of that, the rain has made the road hard to walk. When they arrived at Zhang family's house, volunteers introduced the goal of this trip and talk about the academic performances of the student Zhang Ziyue. Her father is very pleased with his daughter's change.
过去都跟你们念叨，然后现在都不跟你们说了，都跟师傅说了，是吧？多了个家长。那你对我们有意见吗？
当然高兴了。
当然高兴了。
Rain or shine, volunteers' passion to visit a student's home are never going away. They hope to establish a good networking platform with the parents and the school so they can pave a smoother way for students to pursue education. A teacher noticed that a brother and a sister living with their grandmother in Dongshan district suffering a very poor living condition. Hard to imagine they slept on a mattress on the ground with house crammed with garbage and almost no light in the room. After the Department of Social Welfare was informed, volunteers from the Department of Labor helped to repair the house, even bring desks and reading lamps to create a comfortable learning environment for them.
These volunteers are busy installing this wooden floor and ceiling. Later, an electrician comes in to install lights. Later, a new bedsheet, pillow, and comforter are given to this family.
Many people are willing to spend their weekends doing this volunteer work. Working for free makes me happy.
I want to use my expertise to help these underprivileged households. I hope that this help can allow them to enjoy a better home environment.
In Tainan's Dongshan area, the Chen family was living in a sheet metal building which had no dividers, and goods were stacked up high in the area as they slept directly on the ground. After volunteers learned about this, they poured a concrete floor and built a handrail, with carpenters and electricians also coming in to lighten up these rooms.
It's brighter and I am much happier.
We worked with our trade union and their volunteers to improve the family's home environment. This will help their children study better and lead to more peace in this family.
Tainan's Labor Affairs Bureau delivered desks and lights to help this family and this boy enjoy a better environment to study.
continue on with Tzu Chi's free clinic in Jojutla, Mexico, which has helped many impoverished families. Among the patients that received dental services at the event were children from a single-parent family. Because of their family's financial problem, the children had to endure the toothache. It wasn't until the arrival of Tzu Chi's medical team did they finally solve their dental problems.
Here in the city of Jojutla, Mexico, for outreach medical missions for the third time now.
I am epileptic. I came yesterday for acupuncture, and today I returned to fill my cavities. They helped me a lot.
I learned about Tzu Chi when I came in December. I thought this was a great opportunity to add my community, and I wanted to help. I really like how they work.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful to the foundation.
Many patients came. They are humble people who need treatments but can't afford medical expenses.
I couldn't sleep due to the pain. I was afraid in the beginning. They gave me anesthesia, but it numbed the feelings. But yes, I was a bit scared.
We have a volunteer doctor Caesar. He donated a lot of dental material.
I want to help Tzu Chi Foundation. I have my own private clinic. It's just a matter of finding the time and providing support to be on the same wavelength as you all.
We've been here for several times. We are just like friends. We hope we can join more events this year for 4 times, and I can come in more.
I'm not a Tzu Chi volunteer yet. I come when there's an opening. In the future, I'd like to register as a volunteer.
It's great that Tzu Chi came to help us. We're thankful for their free medical services. We're no longer living with pain and other problems.
To be honest, this would have cost me a lot of money, and now I'm a single mother. I can't afford to take my children to a private dentist. Right now, I'm very thankful for everyone who wants to help us. I want to express my sincere gratitude.
To the Tzu Chi Foundation and to you, God bless you all. Thanks for helping us.
In our next report, we will meet a volunteer in Singapore who suffers from thymic cancer. Due to her illness, she probably will not be able to attend the Chai celebration this year. Therefore, other volunteers have held a small Buddha bathing ceremony for her. Most of all, she has become Master Cheng Yen's disciple.
Holding the lotus lamp and occasionally closing her eyes, Yi Hap-sing insists on completing the Buddha bathing ceremony despite her fatigue.
When we visited her last week, her spirits was low. Volunteers took turns to visit and encourage her every day. The doctor said she might not be able to attend the tri-celebration ceremony.
A year ago, Yi Hap-sing underwent a checkup after experiencing difficulties in breathing. Then she was diagnosed with thymic cancer. This year, her cancer cells have spread to the heart. Nevertheless, she still thinks about Tzu Chi events.
After her last chemotherapy, she lost her hair. Then she said there was nothing for her to do at home. Could she go out to help with Tzu Chi events? We brought her to places she wanted to go.
She could not come to the recycling activities in March, but she came in April. She went to the recycling point because she really misses us.
On this day, Yi Hap-sing took refuge in the Buddha under the witness of her family and volunteers. Master Cheng Yen has given her the Dharma name Ming Yuan.
The master has given Sister Ah-sin the Dharma name, Ming Yuan. Min means returning to our pure nature, and Yuan means affinities. From now on, you are Sister Ming Yuan, and we are the Master's disciples.
很开心。有没有幸运的达成？
I'm very happy as I've taken refuge with the Buddha and become the Master's disciple. I will follow in the Master's footsteps life after life.
跟着上人脚步走。
Linko Jingsi Books and Cafe hosted an event for mother and children on the theme of filial piety. In order to allow children to personally experience how it feels like to be pregnant, they need to hold a balloon on their belly and carry it carefully as a real baby. Let's see. Before the class begins, every kid needs to do one thing first.
直接给你带回去，所以你要保护它哦。
Linko Jingsi Book and Cafe's children workshop themed on filial piety this time, and with a balloon on their bellies, children realize how difficult it is to be pregnant with a baby.
妈妈捶背舒不舒服？怎么不舒服？
Touching their mother's hand through a black curtain, only then they feel how hard their mother works.
阿妈的手有一点粗哦，我摸摸看啊。
Sing carefully and you will understand how much your mother loves you.
我喜欢吃莲雾。你喜欢吃莲雾？啊，妈妈喜欢吃什么水果？
Through the laughter, children are now having more feelings on how their mother cared for them, and the relationship between mother and children have become better. Liu Xinhong is from Zhanghua and was a student at National Formosa University, but had to take a break to care for his mother who was bedridden with cancer. He decided to drop out of school to stop his studies and work so he can spend the last few days with his mother. It's a story of true filial piety.
He uses a cotton swab to give his mother some water. Later, he rubs her stomach to help reduce the pain from her wound. Liu Xinhong entered university after passing the college entrance exam. Was embarking upon a new life when he learned about his mother being diagnosed with terminal cancer. He put his studies on hold and is now helping his mother as she lives in hospice care.
I only have one mother. There will be money for me to earn in the future and I can study later, but I may not have my mother much longer.
Liu Xinhong stays with his mother day and night. On his 20th birthday, he wrote, "How to send my love to you on my birthday. 20 years ago, my mother gave birth to me, and I thank you for bringing me into this world. You took care of me in every possible way and gave me love. I do not know how many days I can stay with you, so I want to cherish every day of your life."
I began to be aware of the fact that I may not have a lot of time to spend with my parents, so I thought that I should just spend more time with them.
This filial son took a break from his studies to spend time with his mother. He received full support from his family.
I was really moved. He took a break from his studies just to be with his mother.
He is taking his family very seriously. I feel that this is very moving.
Accompanying his mother's last few days of life, Liu Xinhong is showing his love, thanks, and cherishing every last minute of her life.
There are several countries and cities that have insufficient land, making it hard to undergo urban development. For example, Keelung is relatively close to Taipei, but there is no development here, as most of it is concentrated around Keelung Harbor. Keelung is applying to the central government to rezone hillsides in the area which they believe were made based upon an inaccurate zoning system. Here is our in-depth report.
I said I was going to go as I needed to find a job this year. I didn't want to take cases anymore. But then the proposal was approved by the Culture Ministry. I think the case is meaningful, but I think the salary is simply not in line with the work.
At the age of 31, Ye Yuhan's expertise is animation. However, it's hard for her to make a living in this profession in Keelung. Young people here had to go to work in Taipei, but actually more people from outside the area are coming to Keelung to buy a house.
The large terrace is like this. Let's go outside to see how it feels.
Keelung is just 20 minutes away from Taipei. For this reason, a number of residential development projects cater to those from the Taipei area. Despite the fact that there is as much as 95% of the area in Keelung is designated hillside, the housing market here continues to boom. A few years ago, the city of Keelung tried to rezone some of the areas previously classified as hillsides to spur urban development.
夜市啊，基隆的夜市，这里是基隆的夜市。
This is Keelung's night market, and you can see the entire city of Keelung, most of which are sheet metal structures. There are many of them here, which means there's opportunity in the future for remake the cityscape.
跟起来合作，那对于市容坦白讲才会比较有帮助一点点。
From the perspective of this map, pale green lines are the boundaries of hillside area. Because the measurements were inaccurate, with some boundaries even drawn to the sea, Keelung city government pushed to move this line. The solution was to make this area plains mostly concentrated in the Tianliao River, Keelung Harbor, and Zhongzheng district along the coastline, a total of 100 hectares of land. Rezoning these hillsides means they are no longer subject to soil and water conservation measures as it pertains to reconstruction of old houses, buildings, or urban renewal.
For example, a house they wanted to build here had to pay $540,000 just for the hillside development fund.
Building houses on hillsides means that one needs to pay into a hillside development fund and also undertake soil and water conservation efforts. After decoupling this requirement, the municipal government will review urban planning to better develop industry and commerce.
这个是大马路旁边。
While the main entrance is the road, one needs to exit out the back of the house, taking a long staircase. Though outsiders may find this strange, those living in Keelung are already accustomed to it. Keelung people may be willing to do this because of the scenic views that they enjoy.
所以说山坡地不行吗？
So you think that hillside development is improper?
基隆的山坡地的建筑早期都是这样。
Long ago, they built on these slopes in Keelung, and the old construction style included a large terrace at the doorstep to the house. Those in front wouldn't block the view of those in the back.
房子不会挡住你的视线。
I think that there is a predicament when it comes to the views of the ocean and mountain for those in Keelung. Living here is good because both are close to us, and living in this environment is different from other areas. Actually, I think that living in the mountains is quite good because of the views that we get.
In contrast, many are now destroying this view of the mountains through hillside development projects as they're trying to squeeze out as much space as possible as the plains area has become quite developed. This is leading more people to build major projects in the hillsides.
我只能说
I believe that space may be limited, so this is leading them to consider developing the hillsides. But why are they not taking an inventory of the unused space in the plans of these urban areas?
行政空间做一个盘点。
Keelung is embarking upon a road to urban transformation. On the one hand, there are the traditional mainstream concerns of industry and commerce, while on the other hand is the issue of the environment. In the future, achieving the right balance will be the most important undertaking for the municipal government to decide.
Spring is the season of blossoming. The senior class in Sanchong, New Taipei City takes their grandma and grandpa to Yangming Mountain for a field trip, as well as teaching them paper crafts and floral works for them to enjoy their life. We'll leave you with these images and thank you for joining us.